You know what? This thing sucks. There's gotta be something better. Thankfully, I know just where to look. As any good audiophile knows, all of the best audio equipment is always planted right behind your garage, in your backyard. It's just standard practice. Let me grab my shovel, my itty bitty baby shovel here. Let's go dig up some audio equipment. Now, normally, it's not behind my garage, it's in my backyard. But this one's special. If I remember correctly, it should be planted right about in here. Ha! And would you look at that? Here it is. A Chinese DAC. Let's bring this inside. Alright, so let's go ahead and assume you don't know what a DAC is. A DAC is a digital to analog sound converter. It's like a little processor that's specifically made to convert the funny ones and zeros that are like from, code and stuff into the vibrations in your speakers that produce the sound. So you know how your phone or your computer or basically any tech device has a processor. A DAC chip is specifically made for converting ones and zeros into the sound frequencies that come out of our speakers. Most devices have a DAC built in, like your phone. It automatically has one. So do most computers, or it's handled by the processor itself. But you will almost always get a better sound out of a dedicated DAC chip. So that's why you see people running out and buying DACs for their high-end headphones, or just if they want better sound overall. Alright, so here I have both the Apple DAC and the Chinese DAC I ordered off of AliExpress. So, the Chinese DAC is a lot bigger. It's kind of more of a fashion statement like, oh, look at me. It looks all fancy on the end of a pair of headphones. If you really want all the hipster cred, you can put it on your Grados and look super fancy and cool. But that's big. That's bulky. It's kind of annoying sometimes. Meanwhile, with the Apple DAC, it's slim. It's sleek. You don't really notice it there. It's kind of convenient. But I mean, honestly, who doesn't want to, have that antique hipster cred? Alright, let's talk about build quality. On the Chinese DAC, they aren't as mass produced, so obviously they're not going to be as high quality. It's all metal construction though, whereas the Apple one is all plastic. It's good plastic, but it's not it's not metal. The cable's super thin, but I've never had issues with that. The connector's really good, whereas with the Chinese one, it's all metal. Really nice feeling metal, actually. A pretty nice, braided, weaved cable. Pretty good build quality. The actual lightning connector feels more solid than the actual, Apple connector. It's got these nice parts on the end to help with, fraying and stuff. Super nice cable. Love the cable. I wish the end caps weren't the silicone stuff. If it could be a metal end cap, that'd be super cool, but it works. It seems pretty high quality. Alright, my favorite part. Specs and capabilities. The Apple DAC has a chip in it called the CS4272. Never would have remembered that. Had to write that down. It's supposed to be capable of 192 kilohertz at 24-bit. It's pretty decent. A lot of people won't be able to tell the difference if you go higher. They used to be limited to 48 kilohertz and 24 bits, but that seems to be solved. I think Apple did away with that. Good. The Chinese DAC. It's got a Realtek ALC 5686. Again, wouldn't have remembered that. Realtek is a reputable company. I trust them for the most part. It's supposedly capable of 384 kilohertz and 32-bit. Honestly, I don't have any way to test that. Maybe it's possible. I don't notice a difference. I've tried all sorts of file formats. I can't hear the difference. It's not any louder. It doesn't sound like there's any more tonality change or like, oh, what's it called? Oh, soundstage. That's the one that people like to throw in when they talk about stuff. They sound the same to me. That's okay. They're about the same price on AliExpress and wherever you get your Apple one. Now, if you're using a set of IEMs, it doesn't have microphone capabilities. The Chinese DAC cannot do microphone. That's the only major downside that I can see, because I like to run around and use my IEMs when I'm taking calls and stuff. It did come with this neat metal case. I don't usually care about packaging, but I really like that little case. It makes it really convenient to travel around with. The Apple box is obviously nicer, but Apple's a big company. This is a Chinese company that I've never heard of before. One major pro that I see with the Chinese DAC is it looks really nice and flashy. You look like such a hipster if you're using a set of Grados or something like that. You can pair it with your hipster outfit, and I don't know what hipsters wear. I don't dress like a hipster. I don't care what I look like, but it looks really cool. The Apple one is sleek and minimalist, but it's really dinky and flimsy, and I mean, it doesn't really look that nice. I mean, I guess if you're minimalistic, it does. But I don't really care. I like the big flashy one. One thing I will say, though, is that I have a way harder time losing this big thing. Because of how huge it is, I don't drop it and then it disappears on me and I don't find it till a couple months later. Whereas with the Apple one, I actually just lost this the other day and just found it in time to make this review. That's pretty common. I'm on my 4th Apple one at this point, but this big Chinese one, I haven't lost it at all after a couple months of daily driving. Okay, so let's say you don't mind shipping times, which for this Chinese DAC was about a month, whereas I picked up the Apple one at a Target same day. I like the Chinese DAC a lot. At the very least, it looks cool. It's not any more expensive. If you're buying it for more than $10, don't. As long as you're okay without microphone, buy the Chinese DAC. I like it. It looks nice. You're supporting, kind of diversity in this field. But honestly, if you just want something that'll work, go ahead and buy the Apple one. You won't notice much of a difference. It's reliable, it's good. As long as you've got sticky fingers, you won't lose it. I will say it's definitely an enthusiast product, and if you're not a huge audiophile, just go ahead and buy the Apple one. You won't have to wait for ship times, it'll just work. It doesn't sound much different. Enthusiasts will probably like the Chinese one better, and that is just fine. Go ahead and buy whichever one suits your use case better. And yeah, that's about all. I'll see y'all next time. Here's my stinky man. You want a treat? Here, show everybody at home you know how to shake. What are you looking at? Shake. Snubby. Shake. Good boy. I didn't drop it yet, goofball. Here you go. Good boy.